You are now tuned in to Keeping It Real with Sally. Your thoughts, our voice.
Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of our podcast with the hosts Yodi, which is myself, short for Yolanda, and
San, which is short for Osanele.
yeah, so basically in today's podcast, we're just gonna be introducing ourselves as people and like who we are and the story behind how this podcast came to be and what this podcast is really all about and what we hope to achieve with this new platform of ours that we wish to share with you guys. So, without further ado, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. And as my partner has just stated, this podcast has been in the making for some time now, as we initially have not started it when we wanted to start it, but however, we now are in the midst of tackling what we've always wanted to tackle, which is this podcast. And yeah, we're just very excited to be here and start this journey. And we're very happy to welcome whoever is interested in walking this journey with us and just being part of the community that we are trying to create with this podcast. And basically, the community that we are trying to create with this podcast is a community of where everybody can feel seen, can feel heard, and can just voice their concerns and anything and everything that they want to share with us, as we are open to taking topics and ideas from our audience and use it to create our next episodes. And yeah, like we just want a community of where everyone can engage with one another, feel like this is a safe space, and just talk about things that we all think about, but necessarily not open to talking about it publicly.
Yeah, so what makes our podcast very, very special, apart from the fact that it has sort of like a significant meaning to us because we are very unique as individuals and each person has their own kind of like journey to walk in life and like we feel like this podcast is something we've always wanted to do and this journey that we're currently walking together we would want to share with you guys as well and all of us basically walking this journey of life together and what better way to do that than to have real authentic conversations about things that we usually think about or hear and want to say or express, but just feel some kind of way about expressing or not really the most confident to express it. And overall, just feel like this is a safe space to just be yourself and free your mind, free your soul. And that's basically what we're trying to achieve here. And we would want to be as inclusive as we can. This podcast is open to literally anyone, young, old, like, male, female, like any race, any like color, any anything, anyone, anyhow, anything literally. Like we're open.
Basically, anything you wish to categorize yourself as or prefer to be referred to as, regardless of gender, race, age, we just open arms, accept anyone and everyone who's interested in hearing what we have to say and in some shape or form wants to also add value in what we are trying to create ourselves.
Yeah, he summed it up so beautifully. Like made me feel like I was just what's the word? What's the word? Rambling. Yeah. And when you just go on and there's no end and you're not really making a point, yeah, that's what I was doing. But it's okay because we're not perfect as human beings and we're here to basically embrace each other's imperfections and create something beautiful within this diverse community that we are trying to create, not just for ourselves, but for you guys as well. And let's just jump straight to introducing ourselves. Enough with what this is about. Like let's get to know each other because that's I mean the key thing to a relationship anything, any relationship rather, is getting to know each other. So I'll start. I am, well, my name is, I am, my name is Yolanda Nkwanyana, and I am 20 years old. Yes, I'm so old. Like, guys, I'm being so sarcastic, but yeah, I'm so young. I am doing my final year undergraduate degree, Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting. Yes, I know some of you might be like, oh my God, accounting, like, what are you thinking? And for those who are currently doing accounting, you know that we are currently going through the most, especially like in your last year where everything just comes like raining down hard on you because you are that close to securing your degree. Fingers crossed that I am able to graduate next year. But yeah, we're working on it. And I'm currently based in the University of Free State. And I'm situated in Bloemfontein. Bloemfontein is a very small place, so chances of you running into me or my partner are very, very high. So don't be shy to come say hi and, let's talk, we're not limited to just podcast. Like if you see us in person and you recognize our voices, um, just stop us and give us like a little hey and yeah, and we'll just, get something popping. So enough about me. Let's head over to you. What's your story, mate?
Well, yeah, as I've already introduced my origin and academic status, I am also currently at the age of 20 years old. And yeah, what kind of person would I say I am? I'd say like I'm a little of everything and nothing at the exact same time. I know you're probably like, what does that even mean? Exactly. Like I consider myself so versatile and so like open to various things and different things that I find it very hard to categorize myself or put myself into a box of like this is strictly what I am, who I am, and that's it. As I am a very open-minded person, I do like to break out from my comfort zone now and again. I do like to put myself out there, and especially if I feel like I'm gonna be adding some sort of value if I'm expressing myself and putting myself basically in the spotlight, which is what exactly I'm doing with this podcast. I'm trying to put myself out there, hopefully that in some way I am able to impact someone else and, be a voice in someone else's head or ears that they feel is comforting, soothing, and, understands what they are going through and where they are currently situated in life. And yeah, basically, I'm just a kind of person that likes to put myself in other people's shoes, but also just like to lend a helping hand where I can and just spread out positivity. And hopefully, I'm able to get the same in return because at the end of the day, it's always said the way you want to be treated also comes down to the way you treat others.
Yeah, basically the Mother Teresa of this duo. Like, whatever he's saying about himself is so, so true. And, like, that's something that I really admire and respect about my partner very, very much. And, like, the way he's just describing himself is like, oh my gosh, wow. Like, things you aspire to be, especially if you're like someone like me, because I am nowhere near half the things that he just said about himself. I am, if I was to describe myself, like just to keep it really, really, really real, like sometimes I feel like what even like this person is a lot, like
See,
a hot mess.
that's the
Like
thing.
description of a hot mess, like is me. Like I'm just all over the place. I don't know. Not that I don't know who I am, but sometimes I'm just not so sure about myself and introverted. I am the queen of being socially awkward and like just everything opposite what my partner said, that is me. And I guess that is something to, I mean, I'm still working on, but that is something of note. Like I'm just basically the imperfection like the definition of imperfection. Like, not a nice thing to say about myself. I'm joking. There are a few nice things about myself, but for the most part, like, I'm just a man, like a hot mess. That's how I describe myself.
Yeah, she's very hard on herself. She's very hard on herself, and she loves to critique herself in the most honest and brutal manner possible. But in regards to everything that she just said about herself, I always like to refer to her as a work in progress because I definitely believe she is a work in progress. And trust me, guys, when I say she has grown a lot and, just become a million times better than who she was when we initially started, that is the truth and it's 100% facts. And it's just always beautiful to watch people around you grow, which is one of the things that I like, honestly, to watch, like the people that are around me, the people that I care about, just grow and improve themselves into, the great star or butterfly that I know they can be. And of course, if I can lend a helping hand here and there, I always am willing to do so because, like I stated, I just love to see people blossom and be the best version of themselves.
Yeah, and that's a really beautiful thing to see, and something I also want to be a part of, even though I myself, I am not, like I said, nowhere near where my partner is. But like he said, I am definitely not the person I was when we first met, and I've come a long way. And I feel like part of the things we're going to be talking about is some of the challenges that I have faced, and maybe some of you guys have faced in becoming the version of yourself that you can be proud of, and just be happy and content with. And I feel like I'm not in that place yet, but I feel like this podcast, amongst other things, is part of the journey that I'm yet to walk in my life and in my partner's life. And eventually, like I said, we'll get to that place where you're happy, you're content, you're fulfilled, and you're proud of the person that you are, and you're sure of the person that you are. And that is basically the impact I would want on my side to have on you guys as listeners. And I would hope for you guys the same for us, because we are not nowhere near where we want to be in life. We're nowhere near like the people we want to be, but it's all work in progress and it's all about growth and just keeping it real as per the title of our podcast, and just using our various ways of expressions to achieve that.
Exactly. As she just said, it's all about keeping it real and understanding that life is a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a race. It's not a competition of who gets where first and who gets there in the best way possible. But it's just about us getting there and getting there in the most honest way possible, keeping it real, and of course, just being proud of every moment that you are currently in as you take that journey towards being the best version of yourself, because it's the journey that helps you be the best version of yourself, not necessarily the destination.
Very much well said. And with that, we are closing our first episode with basically everything that surrounds what this podcast is about and a little bit about ourselves. We look forward to seeing you guys and hear seeing guys not just like in the comments but in person wherever it is that we will meet, in the episodes going forward. And we have some very interesting topics to talk about.
Indeed.
Yeah, no topic is off the table because there is no limit to freedom of expression. And with that, we are signing out. Is there anything else you want to say before we actually sign out?
No, I think that's about it. I think this episode has summed up everything that we wanted to address, and hopefully, yeah, you guys just stay tuned for the journey we're about to take and fasten your seatbelts because as much as it's going to be clean, it will get a little dirty as some topics might be too much for y'all to handle, but it's very much needed.
Yes, sir. And with that, we're out.